It's live! Surprise! I am not Warren Hewart. I am Eric. Warren's finishing up his food. And a call, but mainly the food. We sent off for the food like at 1:03. So that's why I sent that message earlier on saying like, hey. Um, it was just me looking blankly at the screen at first. That's funny. That's part of the whole delay of push record and it goes live like 30 seconds before you push record, if that makes sense. It's bizarre. It's weird. This is what I'm looking at. This is, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. Um, you can see the big reflection of the light. But this is, I wish I could show you guys. All you see is reflection. You can kind of see something. Um, that software, the Sling Studio software, where it's like you switch between screens and control the audio and connect between Facebook, or I don't think it does Instagram, but Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, something else. But oh, it is a very nice Mac. I had to get it specifically to keep up with the 4K videos we have to film and edit and all that. Um, yeah, you gotta have to keep up. You kind of it's kind of I guess with like the DAWs constantly updating that you have to update your OS to keep up with that. It's always something to have to keep up with. Turn it up. Like louder? Should I be louder? I could be more on the mic, but I'm kind of staying away from it too, just to keep from. I took the pop filter off. Keep it clean. I don't want to be spraying spit. Not that I spray spit, but in case one goes away that way, it's clean for Warren. Can I increase the mic level? I can, technically. I'm also not a loudspeaker like Warren. He projects. And funny enough, Warren is not as loud of a speaker as Glenn, because Glenn projects. He is loud. And we always wonder, like, because sometimes the mic will be the same distance away from Glenn as it is from Warren, but Glenn's voice just comes through so much more. Like Warren's voice would pick up some of the room, but Glenn's less of the room, and it's just his projection is just so out there. Oh, I'm getting an email from Pizza Hut. That's awesome. Good deals. Yeah. How is everyone? Ah, yeah. Upgrade prices. That's how they get you. There's always a way they get you, trying to get you to upgrade to something. And there's always deals, and it's always whether or not you have the best deal, and then you purchase it on that deal, and then next month a better deal comes out. I hate when that happens. Yeah, Glenn knows how to drop those f bombs. That's for sure. But then he wouldn't be Glenn without it. Glenn projects his projections. Yep. Oh yeah, Frank. We're talking about waves. Just constant deal after deal, and then the better deal comes out after you purchase using the earlier deal, and yeah, that it's just endless. Is it even technically a deal if there's always one happening? Does that count? There's always a discount. Never trust Waves with any deals unless it's $30. Yeah, that's a good deal. What Mac iOS are we using for Pro Tools? Well, we have our partitions between our computers. Not between the computers, but within one computer, we have it partitioned. Because we are using the old Avid 192 system for the I/O, and it's not the HDX version; it's the HD version. That was like, I think I don't know how high of an OS it goes up to, but basically, if we want to run Pro Tools 12 through all the gear and through the console, we have to swap the entire I/O system for the HDX, which is an insane amount of money that I just had no idea it cost that much for these things. It makes sense, but wow. Um, and we would have to swap um, three units that are 16 in, 16 out. Swap the sync unit. The Lavery, I think, is fine. I think a Lavery has no issues connecting with OS. And then we would have to switch our Apogee, which is an old Apogee, like old Apogee. Yeah, it's a lot of units we'd have to swap. Um, so that's why we have a computer partitioned. We have the OS 10.6 Mountain Lion, I think. That's running Pro Tools 9, and that's what we're using. And then we have the second partition is Pro Tools 12, and to run Pro Tools 12, we're pretty much keeping the OS as up to date as we can, just to kind of keep up with everything, all the new plugins that we get, and wanting to stay, you know, up to date with what most people are using. So we keep up with the OS. I think right now we're on, well, for Pro Tools 12. Oh, we're on Sierra, so we're not technically caught up. Plus, you don't want to be when the new OS comes out. You don't want to get it right away because that's where all hell breaks loose, and nothing works. Oh yeah, not seriously. Yeah, I need to contact Blue about these pads because um oh, I didn't even know if they were under warranty still. That is something cool I should check out. Mines are torn up. These ones are torn up. Um, they last a good while, but yeah. At some point, the pads start looking like, I don't know, something, and then you have all these black specks left over on your face, which is funny and weird. Laptop running Snow Leopard. I know Cameron Webb is still running Pro Tools 7, I think. And I thought running Pro Tools 9 was insane. Like, what? Like, when I first found out, like, Warren was on Pro Tools 9, it, like, I couldn't figure out how, like, it just wouldn't make sense to me at the time. Because I was like, what? Like, don't you want the newer version? Newer is better, this and that. And then Cameron Webb all of a sudden showed up with Pro Tools 7. My mind was just like, oh my God. But everything looked very much the same between Pro Tools 7 and Pro Tools 9, at least. I wonder if the plugins have the same kind of processing power. Yep, wait until they work the bugs out. I feel bad for all the plugin makers because it's just constant having to update it for the next thing that's coming out. I think when we were talking to oh, what's his name? Basically Mick DSP, like the guy, like the main guy. I'm totally blank on his name, but we were talking to him and he's just saying like how it's just never ending because you update the plugin, you get it approved by Apple, and then the next OS comes out or the next update comes out, and then you have to just start again from doing the whole process of getting things signed and making sure everything works, working out all the bugs. It's just never ending. Oh yeah, and then Pro Tools jumping from Pro Tools 12 to all of a sudden 2020, and then 2020.1 and point 2 and point 3. That's a new system. That is and I still get jumbled on it. I still call this Pro Tools 12, but technically this is um, Pro Tools Ultimate 20. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, Colin McDowell. Colin something. Colin McDSP. Um, yeah. Ozzy says, "You millennials all want the latest." I remember Pro Tools 5 being awesome. Man, I can't imagine Pro Tools 5. Like that is yeah, even before what Pro Tools before it was Pro Tools, Sound Tools, something like that. And then like going to school when I was going to school and you open up the book and it's just like showing all these photos of this like vintage software and it's like, "Whoa, what is that?" That's so old school. It's so crazy just the jump from I mean, I guess in technology in general. What are my favorite bands? Um they're ever changing just cuz it's, you hear something new and you just fall in love with that new artist and it's just like, "Oh, that's my favorite artist right now." Um and I would say like the band that got me into music being Metallica. I haven't listened to a Metallica song in a very long time, but that's not because I it's not like I've moved on in the sense of like I've forgotten about them. Like they'll always be the band. Um, and just because I'm not listening to them doesn't mean, you know, they've left that spot. But there's always current favorite bands, and it's always changing. Like there was a time when I would always say it was Metallica, Muse. Um, I was a huge fan of Muse, and even them, I haven't listened to them in a while. Um, and then Linkin Park. That might be that might be just because I was born in '94, so the early 2000s. I don't talk about it much with Warren, as far as like Blink 182 and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I went through a lot of that, and right now I'm actually getting into a lot of. I've been getting into a lot of like the EDM stuff, but like melodic stuff, not just bashing your head and you know I need melody. Maybe the pop side of it. Um, Milan says, "Did I receive your email with the Love Stone multi tracks?" I don't remember. I might have to check back. I know there's a couple. There's a couple emails for new multi tracks that I need to go back to and just redo them. We've just been really busy, um, and I have the list of emails of multi tracks to add. I just need to go through them again. But in case I haven't, Milan, you can always resend it and just make sure it is going to Eric, ERIC, at producelikeapro.com. And if you don't get a reply or anything like that from me, then find me on Facebook or, yeah, message me on Facebook. Um, ask someone else. There's tons of people that have been able to get my email and all that stuff. And, you know, everyone helps everyone. Uh, Romantic melodies, Sheila. Actually, I've never really thought of melodies as like romantic melodies. I guess, yeah. I mean, like totally makes sense. But and thinking about it, there's totally songs that come into my head that just make sense as romantic melodies. And yeah, I'm all about it. Just because it has romantic in the name doesn't mean I shy away. Like romantic rom coms, romantic comedies. I have a sister and my mom, so I would watch those with them. No shame. They're awesome. Hey, Mary and Sam. Ooh, the new Deftones album. I heard one track so far, and I love it. It's awesome. I'm always hesitant with the older bands putting out new stuff where I'm trying to. Well, I'm scared to listen to the new stuff because at some point, some people lose their, what would you call it? It's not like they lose their writing abilities, but their music just doesn't have the same inspiration, maybe. Like I haven't listened to Metallica's new album. I'm afraid to listen to it and not like it because I don't want anything to be tarnished. Like to me, they're gods of metal. I don't want that to be taken away. How many new emails do I get daily? I'm not to the thousands. That's Warren. Like literally, when Warren says that he has thousands of emails unread, he is not kidding. If you look at his email, like just over his shoulder, and you just look at it, and you just see a huge number of unread emails. And I used to think that he was just exaggerating, but he is not. He gets a ton. And sure, there's some spam in there, but man. So if you guys email him and it takes some time to get a response, it's mostly because he has a ton to go through. Oh my god, back in the day, first computer was an NES with Windows 98. I can't even picture Windows 98, how that would have looked. I think the earliest PC got on was 2001 when maybe it was when AOL started. I just remember AOL being a thing. That and the instant messenger back in the day. That was all the rage. Ah, business computers. The big squared ones. Yeah. He was saying he was in the same boat, getting into the Stones in the 70s. The decade Keith mostly missed. Sheila, I don't think I got your last email. You should resend that. You've got mail. Yeah, AOL Messenger. Oh, yeah, Michael. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if I'm a bit quiet because of level, it's yeah. I don't want to speak directly on the mic. I don't want to spit in there, and I want to keep it clean for Warren. I mean, I can. I'll raise it up a little more. I just got to remember to pull it down when Warren speaks. I don't want it to totally just distort. And then like some of our videos lately have been a little, the compression's been a little off. Um, Between us, uh, one of the 1176s that we had just decided no more. That was it. It was when we had a brownout, or blackout, a full-on blackout, and one of those moments of like this, the console's on, speakers are on, everything just, and you just hear all the electricity, just electrical noise just coming out of the speakers. Because even though things shut off, they just powered back on right away. But um, somewhere along the line of the electricity moving down down the path, it just got cut and wouldn't go back. But you can still hear the power that the speakers are grabbing, and the console was just doing something weird. And so it's like you run and you have to shut everything off. And we did everything as quick as we could, but our casualty was the 1176. So luckily we had another one. Um, and this was interesting because it was my first experience of hearing, the same piece of gear, but just a different one, and it sounds different. It just works different. And this one's a newer model, I think. It was the one we had at Harmony, and I don't know. Like it's cool. It works. It's an 1176, but it the way it works with the level that we would typically send to it with the 1082, because I would have the gain at 35 and at 12 o'clock with the output, and it's going to a DBX 165 into the 1176, and it just worked every time. Switching it out, it just was not working. It sounded fine when Warren's talking regular, but then once he has his moments of like, he gets excited, and that peak just total slam. And so there's probably like 3 videos where you probably heard like 3 of our videos back to back to back where the compression was a little off. It just wasn't the same. So I was trying to just like work with this thing to figure out what's different and how to hit it different. And I don't know if that's just in my head or if it's literally just that piece that's just, you know, it's got its differences. Learning. I'm learning here. I'm trying to figure things out. Take it easy, Randy. Yeah, they're typically not this late for the Feedback Fridays. We just had that last minute stream with the Isotope plugin. But yeah, check back on the website, Produce Like a Pro, go to Feedback Friday, and I'll post this up in there. Or you'll get the email with the link, and you'll just be able to use that link and just watch this anytime. Wow, 36 discs to load Windows. Yeah, discs are crazy. Like the floppy disks, the huge ones, like the ones that we have for this console. I never thought I would see one of those like ever in my day, and sure enough, I freaking have to work with them. And it is such a small amount of size, like memory, that it can hold. Oh, good. Raul, you didn't notice the difference. Good. Because I'm trying really hard to cover it up using like Isotope's declipper and all this other stuff to try to cover it up. Oh man, no, I started playing piano at 6. I wish I could play piano, and I have a piano now. One of the old pianos, the old like student pianos that was at Harmony. Warren actually let me have it for free, which is awesome. And it's in my room, and I need to just play it, but I don't. I get lazy, and that's what I'm struggling with right now, is being lazy. The Mist. It's one of the games I don't know actually, and I'm a big game person. But on 5 discs, oh my god, or 5 CDs. Everyone's just talking about the back in the day, all the CDs and all of that. That's funny. Ooh, I do need it to be tweaked. It is very not tuned. And who knows when it was last tweaked. Play all the black notes. You sound like Steely Dan. The 15 floppy disk install. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess it's either play all the white keys or play all the black keys.
Like I say, he's not that. He's not a.
I didn't have anything for lunch. I'm on a air diet, if that counts as a diet. Not that I'm not eating in general. I just didn't have lunch.
Okay, great. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye.
I wonder if I know that trivia. You don't know Jack. Maybe. Ah.
Did you tell them what I was dealing with?
Not specifically, no.
Oh, we can.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Oh wait, no, I'm wearing your headphones. Sorry.
You're wearing my headphones?
Yeah.
What? Are you gonna break these ones too?
Whoa, hey.
Whoa.
What are you trying to say?
Whoa. I can swap you out computers. He's breaking my headphones. What? What? Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I'll let you know what I was doing. So after our live stream, hello, everyone. One of our Academy members, Nathan, left a message, and I'm leaving it up unless he wants to take it down, saying that the Blue headphones that he had won had not been shipped by Blue. And that's, that's kind of annoying. But what had happened is we had done the competition with a leaving member, somebody who worked at Blue that left. And obviously they left and went to a new company. They didn't tell the new people. However, why would any of that matter? Because obviously Blue and Produce Like a Pro, we've done, how many things have we done? Like 10 competition, five or six competitions, giveaways. We use the headphones every day. We have a great relationship. Well, he called Blue and got passed on to somebody in promotions. And this person in promotions called him back after he left a message and said, I don't know who Produce Like a Pro is. So I just called the sales manager and was like, WTF. And he's just like embarrassed, like, don't leave us. Please keep working with us. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't know about any of you that run businesses and have support staff and all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, it's not an ego-based thing that one of our Academy members was ignored. It's not an ego-based thing. It's annoying. Trust me, it's annoying. What the bit that bothered me, and I'm sure you can all understand this, is like, why can you not simply, if you're in promotions, open Google, takes that long, and go, Produce Like a Pro Blue headphones. And all these giveaways come up. All of this wonderful thing. What did that take me? 4 seconds? Within 4 seconds, this guy who returned a call, if he had spent 4 seconds worth of work, even if in his promotionals world, didn't know who we were or didn't know anything, because he's obviously got his head buried in the sand. I subsequently found out that Logitech took over the company fully in August, meaning now they have a different set of promotions people who don't know anything about the products they're selling. But anyway, to cut a long story short, that's the bit that bothers me, because don't you fear, we fear, you know how I am, the people, we know that we all care about our membership and we care about our community. One of the biggest fears as an owner of a company is that you have people working for you exactly like this promotions person at Blue, somebody who spends no effort whatsoever, none at all. And that is the thing that scares me. And I said, it's not an ego thing that you ignored me or ignored one of my Academy members. It's annoying that you ignore one of my Academy members. But the biggest deal is that not only did you ignore one of my Academy members, but your guys, there was a guy, spent no time whatsoever doing any research about this. And it would have been 4 seconds. And 4 seconds to see all the things that happened and the giveaways. And then another 10 seconds maximum, probably less, to click on something and go and see 400,000 subscribers and tons of different video content together and be like, you know what, it probably would be a good idea if I took care of this. Anyway, that's what I was dealing with. Yeah, it's disappointing because what it is, I agree, Alex, it's disappointing, but what it is it's like, it's not the company. It's not the message. It's just a person that gets a phone call, how they handle it. Isn't that worrying? Because, the sales manager for Blue is like, I'm going to send him some free gifts. We're already sending, some free courses. I said, choose whatever you want. And they're going to get very well looked after. And that's great. And that's how Blue are. And that's how they've always dealt with me. But you get one person, one wheel in the cog, or one cog in the wheel, I should say, wheel in the cog, one cog in the wheel, who doesn't do any due diligence. Because this could be just you. Because, I used to work with Ultrasone. And I used to use Ultrasone headphones. Sorry to make it all about this. And the Ultrasone headphones, both the pairs broke on us. And then we had such a terrible time trying to get them repaired that eventually when they finally got repaired, they sent one of the pairs back and they were wired out of phase. And when Eric wrote to them, This is Ultrasone in America, not the German company. They accused Eric of not knowing how to use headphones. They told him that we weren't properly plugged in, and there's no way that he could have wired them out of phase, the guy repairing them. And of course, I put them on, and they were wired out of phase. And I wrote him an email and said, hello, my name's Warren Hewitt. You know, this is who I am. This is my all music. These are the records I made. I know when headphones are wired out of phase. And he responded with if, this is what he said, if we find they were wired out of phase. They're wired out of phase. They're 100% wired out of phase. If we find them, then we will be happy to replace them and re-repair them if they are wired out of phase. Guess what? Last communication I ever had with them, I would never recommend. If you're in the US, don't buy Ultrasone headphones because they have no customer support. And that's the deal. We recommend products that are fantastic, but they also have to have customer support. It is the biggest deal. And it's something that I go through with my guys all the time. It's like if one of you guys email Eric, it's like people have to feel looked after. You have to feel looked after. It's like every human being on this planet is as important as every other human being. There is nobody more important than you or me or Eric or anybody. We're all just as important. And if you take this sort of like faluting elitist attitude, you know, I'm not interested. I'm not interested with working with people like that. And the sad thing is like, I know Blue and I know that they're a good company. And it is very disappointing that this new guy from Logitech, who's now doing promotions with them, doesn't know his own business and didn't take 4 seconds to Google and find out what happened. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I was dealing with, and I apologize, but again, you're welcome, Aaron. That's what we do. And like Addy's saying, it's against all of the rules of customer service. It's like if you don't understand how to do customer service and you're not good in the promotions department, go do something else. I don't think the guy's going to get fired, but we're going to find out his name. Nathan said he had it written down. You know what I mean? You know, like Pete says, giving a SHIT about the customer makes all the difference. Yeah. Yeah, it's very frustrating. But the good thing is we took care of it. We called Nathan, we did it, but it did take a little bit of time away, and I didn't actually get to finish my lunch. But I got Diet Coke to keep me going. As Trevor is saying, always treat people how you expect to be treated. Exactly. Yep. Eric handled things masterfully. What did you talk about, Eric?
I already forgot.
You already forgot what you talked about? My grandfather used to say, if you can't remember, it must have been a lie. My grandfather would say, you know, he'd do something and he'd go, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, I can't remember. He goes, must have been a lie. So yeah, I'm warmed up, Peter. Yeah, it's unfortunate, Frank, because I don't believe it's the company. I believe it's a person that works there. And obviously Logitech is a multinational and a huge corporation compared with Blue. And Blue obviously were fairly big. They're a big company. But when you're being absorbed by a multinational, you really have to, you have to make sure you look up for people. A new customer costs 5 times more than existing customer. An ex-customer typically tells 5 others of the bad experience. Yep. Okay, well, let's get listening to some mixes. We're going to be talking to Addy after this. I might be running a few minutes late, Addy, obviously. I apologize. Is my voice sounding distorted? 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Am I crunchy? 1, 2, 2, 1. Is that better? I sound crushed? 1, 2, 2, 2. It's not hitting the compressor. What's it doing at your end?
Not clipping on this end as far as...
It's not clipping. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm not... Am I just listening to... I'm listening to what's going in. I'm not hearing what you're hearing, yeah?
Yeah, you're not hearing what I'm...
I just clicked... No, that's
okay,
not what you should be doing. That's the problem. I just clicked this down and did that.
Oh, gotcha.
If you push this too hard, this is input sensitivity. This is what's called distortion. So I just changed that, so maybe it's better.
Yeah, I did raise channel 1 on the audio.
1, 2, 2. There's nothing clipping on the input there. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. How's that? 1, 2, 2, 2. Is it better?
More room, yeah.
But is the volume loud enough?
It was. Yeah, it's fine. It was just when you were getting like, you know.
When I was getting really annoyed.
Really animated. That's when it was. Yeah.
When I get really animated.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's not 1, 2, 2, 2. We should be using the. Glenn said this stand sucked on one of his live streams. I'm like, dude, turn the clipper off. No, I'm going to put that on, Chris. Not says testes 1, 2. What do you mean? Asking a bunch of audio and engineering how it's. Karen, this is a good answer. Karen's answer. When you're asking a bunch of audio engineers how it sounds, you'll get 1,000 different answers. That is true. Well, no, what is it? It's like the. How many drummers does it take to change a light bulb? 6. 1 to change a light bulb and 5 to say how Steve Gadd would have done it. Ching. How many singers does it take to change a light bulb? 1. They just stand there while the whole world revolves around them. All right, let's get into the rock and roll. So, Addy, we're running a few minutes late. Obviously, you can tell, so I apologize. Hopefully, I know you're probably about 9 or 10 hours ahead of us. Sorry about that. We're going to interview Addy for everybody that knows, for Hit the Road Music. And we're interviewing him because he has some courses coming out with, I think, 15 different courses of different things that he's done. Because Addy, it travels around basically, I was about to say the world, but I mean, essentially it will be the world, recording people in incredible countries and just doing amazing, amazing work. And he's filming stuff and it's going to be so good. So we're going to do these courses. We're going to help fund him. We've been threatening to do this for weeks and finally, months even. Finally, we're going to do the interview and then we're going to release his courses. Obviously, all the Academy members can do is a discount. All the profits will go to help him keep doing the amazing work he's doing. He's driving around in a camper van, I think. Is that right, Addy? In like countries all over Africa, recording people. And it's absolutely amazing. And I already spoke to Audient. I spoke to Yamaha, obviously sending him an acoustic. I'll remind them, Addy, if they haven't sent it. And we're going to try and get him a lot of free gear. He's doing, as they say, he's doing God's work. God bless him. All right.
Warren, you can't tell jokes anymore. You're making me look bad.
Why? Because my jokes are better than yours?
Yeah.
Is that what people are saying?
Pretty much. Telling me to take notes.
Yeah, but that's the whole joy of Eric's jokes, that they're so bad. All right. You haven't set these up yet?
Oh, shoot. No. Here.
How do I, can I?
I'll do it.
Are you going to tell jokes and do this? Or do I tell jokes in the meantime? So, Addy, we're running even more behind because Eric wasn't ready to go. All right. So, what's the difference between a musician and a pizza? A pizza can feed a family of 4. I've told that one many times before. What is the difference between a musician and a mutual fund? A mutual fund will eventually mature and make money. How do you know when... I've told these ones all before. You've all heard them. How do you know when a guitar player is knocking on your door? It's the loudest frickin' knock. How do you know when a drummer's knocking on your door? The knock gets faster. How do you know when a singer's knocking on your door? Can't find a key and doesn't know when to come in. You know the one about the Vegas show singer? You know, the Vegas singer, jazz singer? So there's the Vegas jazz singer, and they turn to their piano player, and they say, you know what? Let's do Misty tonight. And the piano player turns to the Vegas singer, the lounge singer, and says, oh, do you want to do that in 4/4, going to 3/4, coming back to 4/4, then going to 5/8, then going to 7/4, and then returning to 3/4, and eventually finishing on 4/4, starting in E flat, modulating to D, and then every other bar going up and down a semitone, eventually finishing on C major. And the Vegas lounge singer goes, no, I don't want to do it like that. Oh, it's a shame because that's how you did it last night. All right. Bill Hawkins is up first. And Bill says, you got this page up?
Yep.
You'll know me on YouTube as Malimbo. Malimbo Limbo. Malimbo Limbo. All right, you're busted now. Bill, it's my third song to mix ever. Like this song with the Vintage 5, mixed it using mostly vintage emulation plugins. Reverbs are Abbey Roads, Plates Chambers, compression IK Waves, 660 and 670, soft tube saturation on the vocals. Discarded all the printed effects tracks, using the first vocal track and harmonies, great. Got the final stages of mix and realized the vocals were a bit harsh and I had no EQ on them. Sticking with the vintage theme, popped a Puig tech on and pushed the lows up 4, while attenuating 1.5 to my ear, achieved a subtle distortion that rounds off the highs and the punchy buttons. I gave it a little layer with a high shelf EQ, EQ'd the reverb to kill the harshness, added a de-esser, used the Sheps Omni channel on the organ for dirt and comp, as well as an H, EQ and an MV2 on a few things, automated a lot. Nice. Okay. Very excited to hear it, Bill. And the first person is up. Oh, here it is. And here's Bill's version of Little Love.
Can you come over here and help me out? I got a problem in love. I gotta work it out. You see, I've got a man, and I love him so. But I got a little love that I want even more. Oh, every time I fall in love, it happens again. And I told myself I wouldn't give in, but I met this crooner with big blue eyes, and he pulled me in with his lullabies. I got a man, but you got me tied in knots so I can't see. Sometimes I ask the God above, am I always gonna have a little love? Little love, little love, always have a little love. Little love, gonna have a little love. Little love, am I always gonna have a little love? I wonder, should I let you go? Cause it feels so bad, and I can't sleep cause you're in my head. And I see all the things that you wanna do, but it hurts cause I know that they won't come true. Cause I've got a man, but you got me tied in knots so I can't see. Sometimes I ask the God above, am I always gonna have a little love? Little love, little love, always have a little love. Little love, gonna have a little love. Little love, am I always gonna have a little love? Gonna have a little love, gonna have a little love, gonna have a little love. Am I always gonna have a little love? Little love, gonna have a little love, gonna have a little love. Am I always gonna have a little love?
That just made me smile. That made me so freaking happy. Is Malimbo Limbo here? Is Malimbo Limbo here? Is anybody, is he here? Yay! Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it doesn't sound that stereo to me, but I thought that was deliberate. I thought you were like keeping it kind of a little bit mono, but the reverb sounded super stereo on the vocal. Well, not super stereo. It sounded pretty darn good. You know, I gotta be honest, I do love it. It's really, really nice mix. It's one of those things like, how do you get critical when something sounds so like of the time. Bill, for your third mix, you know, it's really nice.
Oh, every time I fall in love, it happens again. And I told myself I wouldn't give in, but I met this crooner with big blue eyes, and he pulled me.
I mean, honestly, this mix, is the balance between the vocal and the music enough? Is the vocal too loud? What's going on? You want to bring the just speak to me.
Oh, okay.
Is the vocal too loud?
Yeah, your vocal is just too loud.
Okay, good. All right. 1, 2, 2. That might be a lot of the distortion that you guys and girls were hearing, as it may have been just hitting.
Yeah, I brought it up when I was talking to them earlier because I was speaking too quiet.
Oh, Eric adjusted the vocal for himself and ruined it for everybody.
I did. Dinner's on me.
Dinner's on him. Yeah. All right, so look, I just want to say something. Bill, for your third mix here, unfreaking believable. This song is specifically about sounding like a period. Northern Soulfield, says Steve Martins. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and Pete says you set up the vibe right, and the topic gets deeper from there. So they want you to bring up the music a little bit. Yep. So, it's really good. Yeah, it's not that stereo. I agree, Bill. But I kind of like it. Nothing was in those days. Most of this stuff in the late 50s and early 60s was either recorded and mixed in mono, or it had the dumbest stereo ever.
That I want even more. Oh, every time I fall in love, it happens again. And I told myself I wouldn't give.
It's like the right balance of too much reverb. You know what I mean? There's too much reverb, but in a good way on the vocal.
That I want even more. Oh, every time I fall in love, it happens again. And I told myself I wouldn't give in, but I met this crooner with big blue eyes, and he pulled me in with his lullabies. I got a man, but you got me tied in knots so I can't see. Sometimes I ask.
I love the stereo, just that that came on the left there. I think you got this. What a nice way to come out of our long story talking about how companies like Blue had let us down. You don't have the extended low lows, but you don't need it.
I'm always gonna have a little love, little love, little love, gonna have a little love, little love, gonna have a little love, little love. I'm always gonna have a little love.
Oh, I love that reverb. I mean, a mastering engineer would probably give it a little bit, tiny bit more oomph on the bottom, just a tap. Maybe a tiny bit more air, a little 10 or 12, but it's all in mastering. This is absolutely superb. Bill, this is your frickin', this is you. You know how to do this. You took these tracks and you nailed it. Absolutely amazing. Wow. Really, really cool. I am so impressed. I don't have anything to say except for a little boom and fizz from a mastering engineer, and this is done. I am so impressed with your work, Bill. Malimbo Limbo. Now I think you have to challenge yourself. I think from this, I would take something like one of the Little Empire tracks that's really condensed and dense and got very dense and got tons of tracks in it, and push yourself on this, because I think you prove that you understand this kind of genre here. There's a couple more songs. There's some songs from, if you want to hone these skills, from London Lawhorn that are in this similar vein. I think you'd go really well with that. But I think in general, yeah, really great work. Wow, what a great way to get us all going on something positive after the. Although the Blue thing turned out positive in the end for Nathan. Really. I'm so happy. Thank you, Bill. Anita's next. Talking of great people. Hey, Anita, how are you? Anita says, "Hello, Plapper fam. I've been mixing this song on YouTube for over a year. Now, showing how to mix the song in Reaper from start to finish. Lovely. Feedback Friday is the last to next next to last step in this process. And final step would be to fix issues from all the critiques that have happened. I don't want to make changes until after I make the video. Of course. Wonderful. I use mainly stock plugins with the exception of Saturation Knob, Limiter number 6, and Nova 67p. What has mixing the song on YouTube taught me? It's okay to make mistakes, and we all make them, and to give myself more headroom if I want the volume or to make the whole track. Lessons learned. This has definitely been a challenge, and I look forward to hearing your critiques. I'm excited to hear. Anita is a rock star. Here we go.
She don't take my money. She gives me good loving, good loving. She gives me good loving, good loving. My baby don't mind if I stay out late. She's sweet and she's kind. She puts food on my plate. I know she loves me the way that she does me. Sweet little angel, she kissed and she hugged me. She kissed and she hugged me. She gives me good loving, good loving. She gives me good loving, good loving. She gives me good. I've got me a woman who treats me right, gives me all of her loving both daily and night. I've got me a bunny, she's sweeter than honey. She don't want no silver, she don't take my money. She don't take my money. She don't take my money. Oh, she give me good loving, good loving. She give me good loving, good loving. She give me good. She give me good. She give me good.
Oh, it's quite emotional for me, Anita. That's absolutely beautiful. Such good work. Anita's been with us for a couple, maybe 2.5, maybe coming on 3 years. I can't remember. I want to say 2.5, 3 years. And when Anita first came in, she was doing like little keyboard demos and writing like little piano things and everything. And it was like super, super primitive. but she was like really super enthusiastic and engaging. And she's always been like really, really instrumental in Produce Like a Pro, of helping people. And if you think of where Anita came from 2.5, 3 years ago, and like, you know, with these little primitive, like learning to play keyboard kind of stuff, and that mix with like, that is stylistically super cool. And there's things that we can talk about, and we'll talk about things that could be better or different or whatever, but nothing stands out about that mix as being wrong. It could just be different or slightly better here and there. But as far as that mix is concerned, that mix could have been sent from anybody I work with, and I would consider it to be a competent mix. And I think that's pretty good. Any level of guy. If Cameron Webb sent me that mix, I'd send him mix notes. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. I like your thumpy kick there. Maybe a bit more attack on it. I like what you're going for. Maybe the snare could have a tiny bit more bite to bring it forward. Yeah. Maybe there's a little panning, a little wider in general. But in general, if Cameron sent me that mix, I'd be like, yeah, this is cool. I like what you're going for. That's where Anita is now, 2.5 years, 3 years later. I mean, it's pretty gorgeous, guys and girls. Go pat yourselves on the back. Anita, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And goes right back to where we started this whole conversation about every single, this is not political, this is just factual. Every single person, we're all just the same, and we're all just as important. And I know that this is all, you can see why I get a little bit rubbed wrong with the sort of the and I was going to say guys or girls, but it's always guys, you know, the sound of hits people, you know what I mean? As though there's some geniuses, you know what I mean? There used to be the difference in the 90s as if you got into a room with an SSL on, you were a good mixer. You know, that's the reality. If you didn't have an SSL and you were trying to mix on your little Soundtracks console, you could get a good job. You could get it sounding pretty darn good. But if you wanted that big slamming 90s sounding mix, the SSL did 90% of the work, and you had to have ears. Now, thank God for this, where we're at now, and we can prove that Anita can come from playing some like primitive kind of piano stuff and doing just enthusiasm, like really into doing music, and just apply herself, plus working full-time to support her kids and do all of the things she does, and then come back 2 or 3 years later and have a mix that we're just giving minor critiques to. That's where we're at. Anita, my hat's off to you, and my hat's off to everybody in this community that is in there helping each other and helping grow. And if you're new, this is why this is such a good place, because of all the people that are in here. Because of the Anitas and the Malimba Limbos and the Chris Ebertsons, and I'm reading just out names, Milan and Sheila and Pete and Jens and Ozzy Battler and Mervyn. I'm just reading your names out. Everybody in here. You make this place second to none. Second to none. It's just beautiful. I almost want to go back to that YouTube video. Do you still have it up, Anita? Where you're like playing the piano like on a little, was it like a little, you didn't have a USB keyboard, you had just like a keyboard and you were like playing this piano part, and then your first couple of mixes you like added like piano things, I think. I'm trying to remember now. And now, see where you're at. Yeah, you could add a bit more attack on the kick. You could put a bit more high end, you know, maybe some 7K gentle lift on the snare just to bring it forward. You could do that. You could work on some of the panning stuff, as a couple of people said, there's some stuff there. All of these things are really incredible, and just these subtle things. But the fact is, and please listen to all these incredible people who are giving you notes. It's just a beautiful piece of work. Anita, my hat's off to you. Thank you for being such an incredible Academy member. And thank you, everybody that has helped Anita. And thank you, Anita, that's helped everybody else. So, yeah, just do those little things. Give us a little bit more attack on the kick. A shade, not full-blown metal, because I like your old-school 70s sound. You nailed the old-school 70s. A little bit of extra brightness on that snare. And work on some of that panning if you can just get it a little bit wider in places, especially in the choruses. Wow. Whew. Quite emotional. All right. Thank you, Anita. Pete is up next with that rather amazing photo. Are you trying to imitate my hair there? Eraserhead. Do you know what Eraserhead is?
No.
I have to work with him. It's really funny. So yesterday was my daughter's birthday, and we got Izzy, who's worked with us here for a couple of years. Izzy, we called her, and she wished my daughter happy birthday. And I got really excited. Talk about emotional. Yesterday on Instagram, did you go to Instagram yesterday to the Warren Hewitt one? Peter Hook left us a fist thing, and then we messaged each other, and he also promoted on his own channel. Peter Hook promoted our video. It was beautiful. So I come in to the room while my wife is talking to Izzy and tell her this. And Izzy's like, oh my God, that's amazing. Peter Hook, she knew immediately. Peter Hook from Joy Division. I was like, yeah, New Order. I was like, yeah, he like published our thing and promoted it for us. And she's like, that's amazing. And then she laughed and said, let me guess, Eric has no idea who that is. And I was like, no, he has no idea. I'm like super excited. And Eric's like, who? Izzy, yeah, she used to work for us. Izzy you probably used to email with her. Yeah. Anyway, so Peter's up next. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. So if you haven't already, please check out the Joy Division video. It's doing great. It's really interesting. 99% of people are just going, wow, what a huge influence Joy Division are. And then you get that one person who doesn't get it. Like, I don't get it. I think they're overrated. And I'm just like, dude, without Joy Division, there's no Cure. Without Joy Division, there's like no real post-punk scene. Without post-punk, there's no real kind of proper, because without New Order, you don't really have New Romantics at their finest. You certainly don't have New Wave. I mean, that's owned by New Order. And if you don't have New Wave, you don't have all of the 80s. You don't have Madonna. You don't have any of that. So if you don't understand Joy Division's importance, probably do something else. It doesn't matter about how many millions of records people sell. We all know that the New Order and Joy Division shaped so much of the music that we did. And don't worry, we're going to do the video we got coming out next Wednesday is full-blown straight ahead rock. And it is an amazing video. It's 30 minutes long, and I will be telling you to watch it and share it because it's a really important video to me personally. I can't tell you why, but you will know eventually. Okay, so yeah, you are also awesome. A very emotional Feedback Friday, this one, isn't it? Thanks, Anita. Thanks, everybody. Hello, all, and thanks for your warm welcome here at PLAP. After 24 years away from recording and mixing, feel lucky to be learned and with everyone. So here's my take on Who Do You Think You Are? Very Stonesy 3-horn arrangement, as well as piano and bass. Double and single pan, intro, outro, griff, infamy. Cruelly cut Kenny A's count off as fine. Since this is his first live drums I've ever got to mix, I realized I should have been nicer. That's all right. I have some more Kenny's going to be fine. Tweaked horns, tied the piano player's left hand behind his back, produced a greatly simplified part. Added a few slide guitar accents, rearranged percussion, nudged a few troublesome lead vocal syllables around for timing's sake. Great. Begging Warren's indulgence, I mess with the form some. No, please. Like I say, it's produced like a pro. This is not mix. You learn mixing, everybody gets great. Anita just proved it. 2.5 years ago, ding-a-ding-a-ding on a piano. Now she's mixing at the highest level. We know this. The mixing part's going to come as a given. Being a focus on mixing only is not smart because we need us all to become great producers, great engineers, great mixers, great songwriters, great whatever. This is about building musical careers. Okay, done in Logic, been living for the last several months, wonderful. Being new to the boy meets girl, big boy, girl mixes, I need all the help I can get from Gratefully. Thank you in advance. Excited to hear. Here's Pete's mix.
Love one another, help one another. Don't you think you know by now? If I do what I please, would it all
You can pray to the Father, go home to your mother. She's waiting there with open arms. Yes, well, it's resting on your shoulder. It's time to make up that little bitty mind. Now, well, who do you think you are? Say that you love me, walk out on me. Won't you tell me who do you think you are? To reach out and touch me, say you're sorry. Now, who do you think you are? Say you love me, you walk out on me. Tell me now, who do you think you are? To reach out and touch me, say you're sorry one time. Now, who, yeah, do you think you are? Who 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 do you think you are?
Very tastefully done with the fade. What's interesting about it is like we're all hearing the same thing, which is freaking awesome because it means that everybody's levels coming up so fast. So Pete, I really like it. I think what's interesting about it is your balances and your ideas are great. You've got that guitar loud and proud on the left, but there is some kind of phasing going on, some polarity stuff, which is why I opened up this plugin. Unfortunately, because I hadn't opened it before, I couldn't turn the stereo function off. So that's the reason why I didn't do it while it was playing. But now we're going to take the left and right and put them on top of each other. Yeah, so you can see what's happening. It's going out of phase. So if we put it over here. So it sounds like it's in the center, but slightly to the left, because there's some kind of widening plugin on. If I put it into mono, it almost disappears. I bet if I knock one side out of phase, it'll come back. So what's happening now with one side flipped, reverse polarity, the guitar's super loud and everything that was mono has disappeared. Now we'll pan it left and right. So something on your mono source you're using to widen it. So let's see if you can figure out the words. Yeah, you don't need to use any kind of, widening plugin on that at all. I'm not sure what it was, or maybe what could be happening is you could be going back through an auxiliary for an effect, and it's delaying the signal. There's no delay compensation. That happens a lot. And if you're not using 100% effect and you're blending it like 50-50, what will end up happening is you'll end up happening is you'll get cancellation. So it could be that. Are you using a widening thing on the guitar, or are you bussing it to something else and it's coming out 2 times over? The BX Solo. Which one's the BX Solo? BX Solo. I don't know if I have that. Do we have that? I don't. Plug-in Alliance. Oh, there it is, BX Solo. Oh, this thing here, you're using the stereo width. Yeah, avoid that like the plague. Yeah, do not use this at your peril. All it's doing is messing with phase and polarity. Yeah. The only time I've ever used stereo widening is on like mono pads like stuck into the track super quiet, and even then I wouldn't advise it. But if you are going to use it, that's the only time to use it. But personally, I wouldn't use it. I love the plugin for checking left and right. But yeah, avoid it like the plague. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty darn good mix.
So put it all together. Is it getting
I think if you were listening to in another room or in a very reverberant room, it probably wouldn't sound that bad to you, Jens. It's okay. But with a pair of headphones on, it's like, oh, it's dizzying because you hear the guitar kind of slightly middle left, but sort of like weirdly moving in and out.
So put it all together. Is it getting any better? Well, who do you think you are to say that you love me?
What do you think about NMS Whiting on background vocals? I mean, is that because they're recorded in mono and squashed together? It's like, I don't really like using any of those kind of things unless, you know, I have a reason for it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to repair something. MS, we had it mastered. We had a track mastered. The Dick Wagner song was mastered by a guy who was quite famous, who had actually done the last Bowie record. So I was excited to work with him. And it came back unlistenable. And I put it into mono and half the track disappeared. And I don't know whether he maybe didn't do it and he had an assistant do it or something. That maybe happened. But then we had Adam Ayen redo it for free. God bless you, Adam. And he did an amazing job.
When it's resting on your shoulder.
Yeah, Trevor says it there. Just stick to panning and automation.
When it's resting on your shoulder.
So if you can solve that with a guitar, that'd really help. The bass line is really nice, pumping away. You know, a couple people said it might be a bit too loud, possibly, but I think you need to add some more thump, something really super low on the kick. That section there in particular, I just don't know where the kick is anymore. If I just go in and grab, for instance, just some, 60.
When it's resting on your shoulder. It's time to make up that little bitty mind. Now, well, who?
It's getting too much bass in it.
When it's resting on your shoulder.
Like I'm starting to feel the kick there at 48. Let's just grab a C4. Our friend, the C4. And Chris, I really do want to know what you think of that AI reverb plugin. I wasn't kidding, guys. Just because you guys and girls get all the inside stuff. So what happened is we filmed a proper breakdown of the plugin on Wednesday because I had Thursday off for my daughter's birthday. I took a full day off to be with my family. Miracle. So I took a full day off to celebrate her birthday. She was at school, but they had a magician come in on Zoom and everything. We hired a magician. It was really good. The kids loved it. Really cool idea. You can do that. You do like live on it. And it's great because it's like them watching a TV show, but they get to interact with it. So really fantastic idea. So if you have young children and you're trying to think of party things, I think it was like $125 all in, which is not a small amount of money. But when you think for like a kid, like a young kid's birthday party, to have like a full hour of like just interactive entertainment for just the kids on there, I think it was worth every penny. And she loved it, and so did all the other kids. So really, really good. Not cheap, but not really expensive. He's probably doing one of those a day, maybe one every other day. So it's not like he's a millionaire. So it was really fantastic experience. But we had filmed it on Wednesday, the video, and we went into great detail. And then we got a fraudulent claim on the song, saying it was another song, and they blocked us in all territories around the world. And we fought it, but it still hasn't come off. So that's why we did a live one and why I was super prepared and knew how good the plugin was. I am not schnizzing you. I like that plugin. Do I think it's got lots of classic reverbs? No, it doesn't have classic reverbs. It doesn't have reverbs that sound like chapels and whatever. But then when I listen to mixes of records I like, particularly like the golden era of mixing and recording and like the very late 70s through the mid 80s, when you talk about the Peter Gabriels, the Sledgehammers, the So's and stuff, those are all lexicon reverbs and really smart people recording in rooms and EQing and compressing on a SSL and making them sound fantastic. And that AI reverb seems to do a lot of that for me. So you probably, if they have given it, do we have that forever? Do they give us a full license of that? I hope so. Can you check? Hopefully, if they gave us a full license for that, or I'm going to have to buy it. I might use that reverb increasingly on mixes because, as you could tell, it can make it, I can go natural and just make a little bit more of the snare. And so I'm not sitting there spending a long time on a reverb trying to match my room mics. It's really rather good. I think it might be a better way of going, unless I'm doing like the, you know, Little Love or a track like that where I'm going for a big play or a big room and I want it to sound old-fashioned or a certain sound. Unless I'm going for a certain sound or I'm mimicking Sunset Sound using IK's plugin. If I just want reverb on a modern rock song, I think that AI plugin might do the job because it's working and doing quick things for me. Those little cuts in the frequencies that are a little too exaggerated in the input source, even though it's not overly sophisticated, it was just enough to stop me putting Oak Sound on before the reverb. Because that's the other solution, put Oak Sound on, which is also $200. So now I have to spend $200 just to use it before reverb. This is doing a bit of that. I think I'm impressed. But I want you guys and girls, to download it for free and let me know. I don't want to be running around like preaching stuff that you don't agree with. I want to see what you think. Yeah, there's too much 40 and below on the bass. So see if you can cut that a little bit. Yeah, Jens, that's a good idea. I'd love to go to see some plugin makers. We were supposed to go to Israel this year. We were supposed to go to Tel Aviv and go to see Waves. Yeah, so cut some of those low. I'm sorry, some of you might not be able to hear that on your systems or your earbuds or headphones, but yeah, there's a little bit too much down there. You know, I would say Chris is going to hate me for saying this. Chris is really good on the low end. You know, so if you've got low end concerns and you want to get him on to check the low end for you, you going to hate me, Chris? He's really smart in that. Oh, Mark, I'm not forcing you to download anything. I'm just saying if you want to try the trial on the new AI reverb that Isotope put out, I just think it might be that practical reverb that we used quite a few instances of it. I didn't see how much CPU, but you know, if it's something you can end up using 4 or 5 times in a mix without using some CPU, it might be just the generic reverb that you use on everything. You know what I mean? Which Chris, are you hating me for saying this? Chris Ibbotson is really good on the low end. He really, his stuff always really impresses. So if you feel like you're having some low end issues and you can't get hold of me, sorry, Chris. Chris is like rescinding his membership, asking for his money back, saying like I'm gonna get it's like ha ha ha, no problem, Warren. I get an email. Sorry. Oh, Arthur is up next. Anyway, great work on that mix. I really appreciate it. Figure out that phasing issue on the guitars. The vocals, if you're using the H3000, use it sparingly. It's there just to help the vocals. Don't use it quite so loud. All right, great. Next up is Arthur Labus. And Arthur says, dude looks like a lady, Ragdoll, Bruce Dickinson, Love in the Elevator, Street Jesus, Legendary Child. That's nice. I recorded 2 of those. Used horns and piano arrangements by Pete. Pete made the MIDI files available, so I used library. Yeah, it's really nice that you have 2 of the songs I recorded. And one of them I mixed, Legendary Child. I also created a new intro, guest reference, live tracks only, not drum samples except for cowbell and Darbucker Nut. Have fun, and every feedback will be marvelously appreciated. Great! Arthur Labus. We love Arthur. He's our welcome wagon. Has Chris emailed us asking for his money back yet? He hasn't? Okay. Not yet. He's going to change his name. His screen name's going to be like John Smith. John Smith, not good at low end. Don't message me. All right, here's Arthur.
Who do you think you are? Love one another, help one another. Don't you think you know by
Go Arthur, go Arthur, go Arthur's so awesome. Arthur, you absolutely rock. Arthur has been our welcome wagon now for like the 4 years that we've been doing this. He has been the first point of reference for so many people that have come into this academy. He comes in, he welcomes them, you know, he's just such a great guy. Absolutely amazing guy. Yeah, God bless it. That was a really, really super exciting mix. Really super exciting. And you've made it super modern and super upbeat, and I totally love it. And of course, all your different additions. Classic Arthur.
Who do you think you are? Love one another, help one another. Don't you think you know by now? If I do what I please, would it all
I love that overcompressed kind of quank, plank. I love all of that. It's like, it's all the additions you've done are absolutely superb. It's like a little crunchy in the high mids. And when I first heard it, I was like, do I dislike or like that? And I think I like it. I think I like that extra sort of crunch. I think it gives it just a little bit more excitement.
Who do you think you are?
And that snare, the oosh, 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 is like super powerful. Well, I think I would just encourage you to look at just some of the crowd of the high mids. The thing is, it's a tough one because it also sounds very modern and very like radio friendly to have that little extra crunch to it. And far be it from me to sort of take away something which is really fantastic. But I think maybe I would encourage you maybe just to kind of look at some of those high mid details.
Who do you think you are? Love one another, help one another. Don't you think you know by now? If I
It's like maybe on the verge, if we grab the C4, of maybe a tiny bit more on the low lows on the kick. Let's have a listen. That's pretty good. I think a good mastering engineer would pull some of that out. I think you might have it. I think a good mastering engineer is going to go in and grab just a little bit of those low lows.
help one another, don't you think you know by now? If I do what I please, would it all
There's definitely a lot of 60 in the bass.
help one another? Don't you
So maybe just pull down a little bit of that boost in that low area there, just a tiny, like a dB or so down on that 60 hertz on there. You know what I mean?
help one another? Don't you think you know by now? If I do what I
Just to allow the kick to breathe down there. But the great thing is the 40 is almost entirely on the kick, so it's giving it some good low thump. So like I say, a good mastering engineer would probably do, dB at 60, maybe tighten it just a little bit, and probably at about 10 or 12, just bring up a little bit here.
help one another, don't you think you know by now? If I do what I please, would it all fall to pieces? All this
I think as far as the frequency I'm talking about, there's a little crowded. If I was to hazard a guess, let's go and grab our C4 again. Yeah, centering, it's reading, it's like centered actually, because it's 4K, but this is the area I'm hearing. So it's a little bit more like 6. That's where it gets crowded. It gets crowded between about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, around there, centering around that middle area. It just starts to get a little, just a tiny, tiny bit crowded.
Help one another. Don't you think you know by now?
It might be a little bit too much of the bottom snare going, maybe just a little bit of that that's just taking my ear away.
Help one another. Don't you think you know by now? If I do what I please, would it all fall to
Oh, the low thump is good. I'm saying just like maybe like half a dB down on a 60, maybe a dB down on the bass, just a little bit. Just, it's pretty tight.
help one another? Don't you
So good, Arthur. I love all the additions. I love it. It's really. So, Arthur, what cowbell plugin is it? Where do I get it? Cowbell is a plugin, or are you just using the account of Cowbell? It's really good. Great work. Arthur, absolutely fantastic. It's good to see you here, my friend. Good to see you helping. Arthur and I met at the masterclass in Berlin last year in May with Eric. Eric was there as well. Yeah, it's probably a combination of the ghosts and the hi-hats, saying Chris. Yeah, it's a combination of that. It's just a bit too much build-up in going on there. I would say with the ghost stuff, see if you can maybe make it more about the top snare than the bottom, and just get in there and create a little bit more detail in those high mids. Yeah, I love the bongos. And the ending's fantastic, as I agree. Arthur, you're the man now, dog. All right. Eduardo. Addy, you holding on? I'm sorry, we're going to be late. I apologize. What a day. So anyway, yeah, the reason why we started everything late was because of this video that we had to stream instead. So we had filmed the video on Wednesday. They blocked it with this illegal, because all we did was solo some drums, and somebody said it was their song. I don't know if I can get into are we able to get in to our YouTube? It doesn't matter. And it's like a Latino dance song, and they're saying it's our songs. So that's why we had to go live streaming, and that's why we had to push everything back. So I apologize, but it was a little bit out of our control. Eduardo says, for my second mix in the Academy, I chose Valerie by the Zootons. Lovely. Again, some additions. Organ, Rhodes, tambourine, and percussion used all the original tracks. Very excited to hear it.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you do, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been amazed, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. And now you're shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? were dodging all the time. Are you still dizzy? Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. 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 Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Valerie. Oh, Valerie. Why don't you come on over, Valerie?
That's amazing. What I love about this song and this mix of this song is you just took this recording, which was done with one mic, and one interface, and made it sound like this big, expansive production number. This is like, we just need to illustrate this and remind ourselves that this is, which mic was this? Oh yeah, it's Valerie. This is the Lewitt. There's an inside joke here for everybody. Do you know my inside joke? Do they know the inside joke? I've already told them. I don't think. The rep for Lewitt that talks to all of the YouTubers and the quote-unquote influencers is an Austrian girl, and her name is Valerie. So I said to her, "Oh, we're gonna do a cover of a song." She goes, "What is it? What cover are you gonna do?" I was like, "It's a surprise." So I love this. You know why I love this? Because the thing that I love and I want to know about, and Eduardo, if you could tell us about this, is what are you using on the backgrounds? The backgrounds sound huge. They sound cavernous in a really cool way, though, not like distant. It sounds like, wow, this is recorded in a huge studio. Listen to this.
What you doing? And in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie.
That is perfect. That is the blend. That is the exact blend that the backgrounds need to be. Better than my mix.
Valerie.
Perfect. You have good ears, my friend. You know how to get those harmonies to sit together and work. My voice is a minor role in that. It's mainly Steve's, but mine's just there to add it. You have good ears. You know about the blend. So for me, less reverb on the lead vocal at times. Says here it gets a little washed out.
Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess.
it's like maybe it's musician ears, producer ears, mixer, engineers ears that hears the reverb, because I've gone back to songs that I loved growing up as a kid, never thought they had too much reverb on them, and now go back and listen and go, why is there so much reverb on that vocal? But I do think coming down here where it's not quite so dense would be good.
Since I've come on home, well, my body's been missed, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over?
Just gets a little saturated in there, so just bring the main reverb on the vocal down a little bit and let it grow when it gets really super busy and really dense sounding. Other than that, pretty minor stuff. There's not a lot you can do with the lows on this beyond, because the kick is pretty much one mic, so you have to pretty much just at 60 hertz, just do a little Pultec on the 60, and then just try to get the bass guitar out of the way of it, and pretty fantastic mix. I'll be honest, I really, really am impressed with this.
Since I've come on home, well, my body's been missed.
Bye, Darko.
Since I've come on home, well, my body's been missed, and I miss your.
I think in general, you've got to figure out a way of getting those drums to be a little bit more present, because in that section there and in quite a few other times, I can't hear the snare anymore. And yes, I know, I understand everybody, and I agree. It's only one mic. But you've got to find a place to get the kick drum to sound good and full. Understanding you're not going to get much click on it because just one mic, and you get the snare up. So you're going to have to get those drums up a little bit in the mix. Pull down the 80 to 100 so the bass can breathe, and just turn them up a bit in general. Don't be afraid to get in there and automate those sections where they're getting a little lost. And please let us know what you did on the backgrounds. We love it. The blend is amazing and it sounds fantastic. Great work, Eduardo. Really good. I love your backgrounds. Superb blend. All right. Roberto's up next, and Roberto says, here's my attempt to mix this beautiful song. I listened to the reference mix for 1 week, so when I started mixing, I had a really good idea of what I wanted, which helped me to organize the tracks, grouping, etc., and reduce the overall mixing time. Out of the ordinary, I sent the BV background vocal Haze to a drum bus, as they are some kind of hi-hats, helping them to have a proper place in the mix. Hey, if it works. I used Isotope Trash for distortion across the mix. It's becoming my favorite, one of my favorite plugins, especially on vocals. I did some small production to the bridge to introduce the main chorus of the song. All comments and feedback will be welcomed. Great, and Magnus got in there, who's fantastic and helped. Always great, and I love scrolling down and seeing people help. That's really amazing. All right, here we are. We have Roberto.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
knows, everybody 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 knows, everybody, 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 everybody knows, 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 everybody knows that this is how it's supposed to be, and everybody knows it's all about the family, and all the people that surround me. We all really just wanna be free. Oh, everybody knows. Everybody knows, 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 everybody knows,
Wow. That is an absolutely fantastic mix. It was interesting going down because I was thinking to myself, is it going to get to a point where it starts to like fold into itself? Because there was so much lows on the djembe. I wasn't sure what was going to happen when the bass came in. And I was really, really, really impressed.
everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody, everybody, everybody.
That is really beautiful. Let's just go and analyze it for the sake of analyzing it. It did an absolutely beautiful job because the bass is definitely, I was wondering how it was going to work, and it just works. The djembe's got the low lows on it, but also so does the bass in the right balance. It's very, very impressive. You know, let's turn this on. What's interesting, the bottom end of the djembe is focused around about the 50, 60 area, and so's actually the bass to a certain extent. But Roberto has managed to just create the right kind of area in. Really amazing work, Roberto. Absolutely superb. My hat's off to you. I'm very, very impressed with this mix. Really, really good. Yeah, this is. You're right, Pete. Peter, it's insane how good it is today. Good night, Peter Samuelson.
Everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody, 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 everybody knows, 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 everybody knows,
You might want to try and just shift the lows on the djembe a little bit further down to about 40. Maybe just add a little tiny bit of subbiness to it. Just a tiny bit, just on the end. It's almost perfect, and I might be just splitting hairs. But maybe just bring in, like, you know, the BX or something underneath and just dial in the tiniest amount of extra sub, because I don't want you to change the bass sound. The bass sound sounds like reggae. Don't change that. I love it. But just give me a little tiny bit more subbiness to the bottom of the djembe just at that moment that the bass comes in, just a tiny bit. And I think you may well have one of the most perfect mixes of this song. I'm sure it rivals mine. You know, I think I'd be happy if you could add that subbiness set to present it to the artist as being mine. That's a really, really good mix. And whatever you're using with the distortion is working great. It doesn't feel like you've overdone it. It's absolutely fantastic. Wow, what an incredible week so far. These absolutely amazing. All right, we have 4 more to go. I'm going to use the bathroom, and Eric, are you going to come up with one of your great save your reputation as a joke teller? I don't know. Do you have a reputation as a joke teller? Yeah, but you do have a reputation for telling jokes.
I mean,
Whether they're good or bad, I don't know. Oh, wait, you're going to sit there and you're going to use the Ericam?
yeah, I'll use my
You're going to
cam.
use the Ericam.
Just gonna switch it on.
The Ericam. That's like the Ericam. Oh.
Hey. 1 second, everyone. Just switching the camera on, and voila. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Just had to switch off the audio from the iPhone. Hello again. Yeah, I forgot to lower the volume on, or the level on the audience. So when Warren came up and it was having the crunch, it was, yeah. Whoops. Yes, jokes. I have to make it a good one because Warren showed me how it's really done. And now my reputation's on the line, so 1 second, I'm finding my jokes. And then actually I need to go look for new ones because I'm running out again. When you have spiders in the house, you call them Eric. Oh my god. That's hilarious. All right, looking for a good one. Searching. Oh no, maybe I've used them up. What kind of music do the planets listen to? We'll use that one. I'll do another one too, because that one's like a baby. It's a little one. What kind of music do the planets listen to? Kyle, oh my god. What do you call a dog with no legs? Don't bother calling because he ain't a coming. Oh my god. Pork pup. Dolly, no arms, no legs joke. I haven't gone to getting those kind of jokes. I can open the door to that. Open the door to some crude jokes. Ed, that one's a good one. My grandma is 96 and still walks a mile a day. Now we don't know where the hell she is. That's good. What the heck was my joke? What kind of music do the planets listen to? Yep. Jen's got it right. Neptunes. But then, God, these jokes are terrible. Why do bagpipe players walk while they play? Ian walked into a record shop and said, "What have you got by the doors?" The owner said, "A bucket of sand and a fire blanket." Ba-doom. It's 12:30 next morning. I only know German jokes. Well, how is everyone doing? Aside from who's stuck in since the first stream? Who's been around since that? It's a lot of streaming we're doing right now. I think we're closing in on, well, this one just got to 2 hours. This stream right now. I'm looking at the timer. It's just literally at 2 hours, 10 seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds. I think the first stream was like an hour and a half. It's one of those long days, huh? And then after this, yeah, we're going on doing an interview with Adrian, with Addie. What did the fish that swam into the brick wall say? Damn. I think it's time I pick up one of those energy drinks. I need a little pick-me-up. Yeah, some jokes need an educated audience. Yeah, it happens. Nice. Addie's ready. What time is it over there, Addie? Welcome, Paul, for the Eric intermission. It's a bit of one of the more tired intermissions. Yeah, tonight's intermission is a rerun. Yeah. I have one of those, like, what are they? I didn't technically eat like a legitimate lunch. I have one of those where it's like the salted peanuts and like the chocolate and almonds and all that. Trail mix, right? Trail mix. You don't normally get them, so I don't know what the name is. I forget what the name is. So I have like a big thing of that, and like I'm just grabbing a handful and just eating that, and energy drink. That's all I need for now. I'm sure the older I get, it's gonna change. I won't be able to do that. Oof, 11:30 p.m. for you. It's a late one. I don't know if you can hear what Warren's listening to in the other room, but it's a teaser. If you can hear it. Oh. Yeah, I guess you guys can hear it. That's a teaser. For next week. Enjoy as long as you can do this diet. Yeah, I know. Oh, McDonald's fries. Oh yeah, I never finished the joke, huh? I'm like slightly out of it. One of those days. What was it? Why do bagpipe players walk while they play? To get away from the noise. Ba-doom. Poor bagpipe players. They're always just bashed on. What project is next? I do need to get Warren to play some acoustics on a track. And then we gotta do some filming for sure. There's always a ton to do. Van Halen video in the background. Yep. What do you call a drummer in a three-piece suit? The defendant. Whatever pipes he plays, they sound good. No, Paul, you didn't. But I think it's time I go searching for more jokes. I've reached the end of what I've got, and we don't want reruns, so gotta go looking for new ones. Next mix contest. I don't know the details on the next mix contest. I know there's gonna be some, but I actually don't know who with, what the song is, or any of that. I'm probably shaking the table like crazy right now because my arm is on it and I'm just like bouncing. So the camera's probably going crazy. Oh, you don't want me to do karaoke? Not at all. I would have to have like 3 or 4 tequila shots if I'm gonna do karaoke. I've never done karaoke actually. I've never had the courage to do it. So that one time when Warren had me go in the booth to do some backgrounds, I was so nervous and I was like, all right, I can do this. I've taken lessons before, so I put too much into it. I was trying to overcompensate for what I thought I lacked in. I don't know if I lack in it or not. And yeah, they deleted my vocals very quick. But I'm glad it's deleted, and it's not that they don't exist because I don't want anyone to hear them. I haven't even heard them. I don't want anyone to hear them. Try the bacon tree joke I sent. Scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. Oh, I may have missed it.
What was the joke or jokes?
It was. One was. I told 2.
Too soon to tell presidential corona jokes. Yeah. My son just got his first article published in, and it was about the election, but I just read it. It was pretty funny. It's all completely apolitical. He talks no politics whatsoever. He's learning to be smart. Stay out of that conversation and get on with. I'll talk about the things I know about, and that's music, and music.
And more music.
We stay out of because it's great because then actually people can come together and have a love of mutual things, and you know that's one of the things that's missing in our society, isn't it? Like actually people coming together, and music can bring us all together. We can learn about each other, and it's the best way to know that we're in the right place. I love it. So.
Yep. Speaking of music, what kind of music do the planets listen to?
What kind of music do the planets listen to? What kind of music do the planets listen to? I don't know.
Neptunes.
Oh, you've told that one before.
Oh, I
now
did?
remember. Yeah, Neptunes.
Oh,
Yeah. After you
dang
said
it.
it, I was like,
Well, why do bagpipe players
Oh, there's
walk?
a delay apparently with the two mics going.
Oh, yeah. What? Here. Why do bagpipe players walk while they play?
Why do bagpipe players walk while they play? I don't know.
To get away from the noise.
Ay, caramba. Ay, caramba. All right. Yeah, what's happening is my voice is coming through your thing as well.
I muted mine.
Yeah, okay. Neptunes, yeah, he said it last week. Afterwards, yeah. All right, let's listen to the next mix. Kieran's up next. Hey, Kieran O'Shea. And it's perfect to me. And Kieran says, hello, fellow plappers. Hope everyone is doing okay. Is my production mix of Warren's perfect to me? Great. Recently got the Spitfire BBC Symphony Orchestra plugin for free too. Wow. I decided I would try my hand at orchestrating this song so it would be perfect for such a sweet song. It's my first time doing a full orchestration like this, and I had a great time. I don't have a lot of experience in this area, so any fellow plappers that do it would be great to hear what I did well and can improve. Mix-wise, I ended up rendering all the MIDI down to audio and mixed in the box Pro Tools 12. Used some saturation to give some character, realism to the orchestra instruments, and pick and choose guitar work, etc. Tried to mix the perspective of someone actually singing in the concert hall. That sounds lovely. All right, Karen, I'm excited to hear this. Here we go. And thank you. This is a song for my wife.
Your laugh, your smile, you drive me wild. Your eyes intoxicate. I get restless, leaves me breathless. I can hardly wait to be a man, the best I can, to sing you songs, to make you dance. I'll be the fool who takes a chance to end up next to you. I wouldn't change a thing. T-shirt and cut-off jeans, from your head down to your feet. You're perfect to me. The way you tie your hair, the way you just don't care. You're perfect to me. From your head down to your feet. You're crazy cool, make your own rules that I love to watch you break. I'm confessing, you keep me guessing. I can hardly wait to be a man, the best I can, to sing you songs, to make you dance. Be the fool who takes a chance to end up next to you. I wouldn't change a thing. T-shirt and cut-off jeans, from your head down to your feet. You're perfect to me. The way you tie your hair, the way you just don't care. You're perfect to me. From your head down to your feet. You got me singing, oh, oh, oh. You got me losing all control. Girl, you got me falling into you. You got me singing, oh, oh, oh. Got me spinning, don't let go. Girl, you got me falling into you. I wouldn't change a thing. T-shirt and cut-off jeans, from your head down to your feet. You're perfect to me. The way you tie your hair, the way you just don't care. You're perfect to me. From your head down to your superstar girl, sweet little honey, giving all the boys a run for the money. Got it going on, it ain't even funny. Head down to your superstar girl, sweet little honey, giving all the boys a run for
Kieran. Ah, it's amazing. Ah, absolutely fantastic. It's like I don't really I don't want to say anything other than fantastic, because you know, you take an acoustic guitar vocal of a song I wrote for my wife and just like orchestrate it, and it's just absolutely beautiful what you did, and the amount of time and effort and energy that went into it. Oh, please, 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 please make these multi-tracks available so other people can do stuff. It would be incredible. They can take this, they can add some bass, guitars, and drums, and EDM elements. I don't know, anything. Just, it's amazing. Oh, God, Kieran is so good. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What's interesting is right at the beginning, have a listen.
Your laugh, your smile, you drive.
I thought you. I think the only thing I had a question was the beginning, because I feel like you're doing the pre-chorus. I get lifeless, stuck, godly way to be the man. You know, coming into the pre-chorus. It's a little bit da dum da da ga. Breathless, I can hardly wait. I feel like this is the only thing I want to be picky about, because I feel like if you use that second half of the melody going to the pre-chorus, you can have it resolved before the vocal comes in. That's the only thing I would hasten to just maybe work on. So I get milder, da 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 da. Vocal. That's probably because you're implying it right at the beginning. I just turn my Mute-O-Matic off, because you start off with the melody. Da da dum da. If you want to repeat the da 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 dum da 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 dum, but I think if you come out of that, then you're using a motif that comes up in the vocal a little bit earlier. That's pretty much the only thing I would change, just because there's a bit of melody movement going into where the vocal is. I think it could have already resolved there. So one more time, it's what I'm saying is keep what you've done at the beginning, this very first part. Da da la la dum ba dum. That's it. It's the only thing I'd change. It was the only time in the whole of it I was thinking, it was just a little bit too much coming into the vocal. And then you could, like I said, you can use that melody that comes later on. Otherwise, unfreaking believable. Wow. Really, really good. Please, please, please make these multi-tracks available to others. If you can, if it's cool, you could send them to Eric, and then we can have Kieran O'Shea's, he's nodding. You know, as a separate thing that people could add to their versions. Absolutely superb. Wow. Mix was great. Really good. I loved everything about it. What a week. What an incredible week. Talk about A game from so many people. What happened? This is great. Something, launching Skype, hit the wrong button. That's right. Turn off Skype. It's Kyle. Kyle is up next up with Valerie. And Kyle put an X for love you. We love you too. Let's have a listen. Here's Kyle's. Great work, Kieran. Really great work.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. 'Cause since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who'll fix it for you. Now you're shopping anywhere. Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? Did you have to pay that fine? You were dodging all the time. Are you still dizzy? Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come on home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Oh, why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, oh, Valerie, why don't you come on over, Valerie?
Wow. So this is pretty dramatic. What I love about this, again, this is back for those people that don't know this. This does have its own download link. You don't have to go to YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, in the Academy. Yeah.
Okay, good. So for those of you, obviously we did it on YouTube, but it has its own download link on the Academy. One thing that, so if you guys and girls didn't know that, you can go and download it there. What I love about Kyle's way of doing this is Kyle has gone and made it super, super organic and made it very 60s because it's only one mic on the drums. So what did Kyle do? Listen.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
It's pretty freaking awesome. So you got bass and drums, basically bass and drums, basically pan to one side. It's just phenomenal.
Well, sometimes.
It's not entirely, if we go and grab our old friend, I'm saying old friend because it's only been a matter of, a matter of like 20 minutes since I started using it.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Anita says it's not in the multi-track section.
Yeah, I just saw that. It's not. It should have been, but I'm on it now.
Eric says he's on it now. Thank you, Anita. The Potter police have got you and busted you. Yeah, we're gonna have to give him lashes.
Oh no.
Eyelashes. All right.
Well, sometimes I go out water.
I love it. Now, it's super, super thick. I mean, let's bypass this because it's obviously got a widening function. It's super, super thick, and it's got like a ton of like low mids and bottom end on it. It's super tape sounding.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Yes, my old friend of 20 minutes, BX Solo.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the
Anita, it's been an emotional day for us, hasn't it? First of all, there we were crying over how you've grown so much, and like doing amazing mixes and coming from like playing piano. Now you're the Potter Police. I mean, we need to get Anita her own badge. Plap Potter Police. The PLAPPP. The PLAPPP. Yeah.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my
I love it's super thick, it's super chunky. It sounds like it smashed some tape overly hard, and all the high end was rolled off into it, and it's got some saturation, and I absolutely love it. Isn't it interesting? Yes, we could go in there and make this sound. The thing is about the Zootons, and I've got to know the drummer, and obviously the drummer plays in the band with Graham. From Blur, who's a friend of mine, and they play together in a band with Matt Bellamy, trying to get Matt on soon, from Muse, and Nick Sesta from Jet. So it's this incredible band. You've got Jet, Muse, Blur, and the Zootons guys all together in one band. I mean, ridiculous. I did say PP, yeah. What this has done is I love the Zootons, and they remind me of like the Kinks, which is one of my favorite bands, and they're very 60s. And you've made this even more 60s, and it's a bit bloated on the low end, a bit too bloated maybe. But can we argue about this? I mean, isn't that kind of why it sounds good? That it's kind of panned around and sounds kind of monofied and 60s, sort of dumb stereo the way they used to, in a cool way. He's a real number man. Band on one side, vocals on the other, reverb of the band on one side, reverb of the vocals on the opposite. That's what sort of makes it absolutely amazing. So, TSA Authority says, Frank. Yeah, PLAPPP. I love it. I don't want to say anything negative. Do I think you could maybe pull out some of the chunkiness and get a little bit more bite up there? Maybe a bit of fight in the lows and the low mids. Maybe a little bit. It's crazy. I think I love it. I think you did an amazing job. If you wanted to make it more modern and pop, then I'd have some more comments about it, but you didn't. You went 60s. You did some really cool stuff. Kyle? Am I going Beatles again? Yeah, I was kind of. Yeah. I love the Beatles. We had this conversation last week, or did we have it on Wednesday? I think we talked about how the Beatles are the most influential band of all time. Obviously the most successful, et cetera, et cetera. But we shouldn't just believe, and I had this conversation with Jonathan Pines, very smart guy. We shouldn't just believe that just because they recorded, that's the only way to record. Abbey Road is one of the most modern sounding albums. It still sounds really modern to everybody's ears. But if you go back to some of the early stuff, it's super mushy, compressed together. And just because the Beatles used it doesn't mean it's the best piece of gear ever. You got to remember there's a big reason why the Beatles are so good. And it wasn't the gear. It wasn't the gear. The Abbey Road engineers hated using the TG Desks when they first came out. Now we all universally believe the TG Desks are possibly some of the best things ever made. So we got to remember that, But there's something about Carl's mix which is of the time and sounds absolutely fantastic. It's great. I'm really sorry, Addy. This is getting late. And I've still got to stuff my other half of the sandwich down. Mervyn is up next and says, comments welcome. Kyle, we love what you did. Mervyn, you're up next. You all rock.
If I don't hit the spot, give you chills, make you hot, I'm never gonna be in your back pocket. Get out of here, turn around, spit your game at the ground. Ain't got no sympathy for liars. I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Ain't no money maker. Get your low rent, cheap ass out of my face. Poetry king, a smooth machine, talking out the side of your mouth. Ain't no thing to treat me like a queen or nothing's going down. I can see through it now. You think that I'm blind, I'm not blind. I wouldn't mind one more go. If you think I'm a backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. So turn off the light, it makes me feel better. Can't look at you no more. We're not dancing tonight, we're not dancing together. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks off. If I don't hit the spot.
Almost did want to listen to it again. Mervyn, that's pretty darn good. Okay, so what's Mervyn done that I love? What he's done is he has simplified my absolutely too many tracks going at once mix. One of the things about this song is like I got overdub-tastic on it. And when we remixed it again on the live stream, and I think Bob Horn did some of this, I ended up muting a lot of stuff. If you know Bob Horn's mix, he did do some mutes and he also blended things together so it became more about one sound rather than competing parts. And I feel like Mervyn's done the same. Have a listen here.
Mine, one more go. Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleaze that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off? Forget it, boy, won't get your rocks.
So what he's got is he's got the guitars down. You can still hear them, but there's more of an ambience to them, but not just like a room tone to them, an early reflection, if you like. There's a bit more of that, and then it's facing the the synth. That when it was going down, I'm thinking to myself, I love this, and I almost feel like I wonder if somebody's going to take this mix the way it is and this kind of version and go full Gary Newman on it and give me just because it's got a Gary Newman dry guitar sound, drum sound, limited guitars with synth bass. Where's maybe a synth going along with that? I love what you're doing here. This is really cool, but now I want you to either bring up the guitars in the chorus
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no
or keep them down.
Backseat, lay me down. I ain't no sleeves that you found.
And maybe
Think
add-
you're gonna pull your socks off. Forget it, boy, it won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Forget it, boy, it won't get your rocks off.
You know what I mean? Like a synth, like, you know.
Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found. Think you're gonna pull your socks off. Forget it, boy, it won't get your rocks off. Backseat, lay me down. Ain't no sleeves that you found.
So it picks up some of that movement on the guitar and some of the movement, but with a, you know, maybe an ARP or something like that. Now I feel like you have taken this into the realm of like pure kind of like early 80s synth pop. So what do I mean by that? I mean, Mervin's done an amazing job. It's really inspiring. This is such, you could almost run this business model just to get great ideas from people. Because let's think about this. We're all learning from each other, because if I was mixing this song and I had you guys and girls mix it, you're giving me ideas of what to do. It's so inspirational. So I don't know, if somebody wants to grab this mix, dump it in and add like a synth line like that, I think it could really take it to the next level, because he's simplified it and created a more 1979 to 1982 Gary Newman, you know, here in my car. It's just, that's where it's going for me. Absolutely fantastic. And don't worry, we will do that song. I promise you, because that song is a freaking masterpiece. All right. Thank you, Mervin. I love your simplicity of ideas. So I think either add a synth or bring those guitars up in the choruses and you've got something super special. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, somebody have a go at that synth line. I'd love to hear it. Thank you, Bobby. You rock. All right. Last but definitely, 100%, definitely not no means least, is Kat. Hello, my friend. Kat says, great song, great vocal performance, and great for practicing kick and bass relationship. Had a great time mixing this and never got sick of the song. Reference for the low end was Give Life Back to Music by Daft Punk. Wonderful. With that low kick, you can feel more when you can hear at times. And the other reference was Home at Last by Steely Dan. Wow, what super cool references. You have great taste. Tried to use LCR panning as much as possible to push myself to try new things. As a wimpy panning has been pointed out multiple times by different people. I think I struggled most with the piano to sound like I was hoping, and placing the mix was challenging too. Big thanks to everyone in the Plap chat who helped with the time to listen and give improvement tips. All of the Chris's, Brett, and etc. It's very motivating to have people helping along the way. Hoping to get more notes from Warren to make it even better. Well, you've got such great people here, and if you've got all of the Chris's, you might not need my help at all. Let's be honest. Not with the Chris's. Wow, that hits hard. Great. And again.
Hey lady, tell me, don't you know your man's been trifling ever since you went away from home? Sweet lady, where you gonna go? Been thinking about you lately, so why not come over? No reason to this rhyme, I just want your lips against mine. So why not just come over and say what's up tonight? Tell me what's the use in crying over him? You're so much better than all this shit he put you in, girl. And you need no explanation as to what you're feeling. See, I'm not here to judge you, just here to help your heart to heal it. And when you realize that life ain't so surprising at all, come here, sweet girl, and say what's up tonight. Alright. Well, do you wanna kick it with me? I'll make you feel alright. You feel better tonight. Alright. Well, do you wanna kick it with me? You're so sick, go and call me the doctor tonight.
Wow. Oh, I cut off the end of that. I want to hear that again. Very nice. I love it. Okay, so snare is great. Could do a little bit more 100 on it. I think you could boost some 100 with a Pultec plugin just to kind of give it that boofiness and then cut about the same area. It's a little bit bright, like there's some 10 or 12 on it. But in general, I think the snare just needs to duck into the track. Definitely automate it where there's not a lot going, but it could definitely come down. If I grab an L1, for instance, or even an L2, does the L2 have the link function? Yeah, let's have a listen. So you can see it's coming up maybe 3 dB above. So if I bring it down here. Now I'll bypass it.
Hey lady.
So maybe what you could do, Kat, because it's like super, super transient-y, if you know what I mean. It's like that first part, it's like pop. Maybe put a tiny amount of saturation on it, just a tiny, tiny amount. What DAW are you in? Are you in Pro Tools? If you are, just put lo-fi on it and just catch a little bit of that. I don't know if I'd go as far as Decapitator, just something to just grab the first part of the transient. You could also just stick a limiter across your snare if you want, like I just did there. The reason why I use the link function is it doesn't change the output volume. So there's just the transient.
Hey lady, tell me, don't you know?
But yeah, it definitely needs to sort of duck down more in it. But I think if you turned it down, you would feel like it got a little lost because it's relying a little bit too much on the transient. So if you can just round off the transient with a little tiny bit of saturation, or if you want, I think saturation like on the lo-fi ever so slightly might work. But also if you just want to stick an L1 across it and just catch that first pop, pop, I think that you'd have to go nuts, but like I think at 3 dB down like that. And then once it's a little fuller with the saturation and limiting, you might actually be able to bring it down ever so slightly because there'll be a bit more body coming back in. But that's my main thing.
Hey lady, tell me, don't you know? Your man's been trifling ever since you went away from home. Sweet lady, where you gonna go? Been thinking about you lately, so why not come over?
Yeah, it definitely needs to come down. That's the main thing, I think. And it may be just a little less bright and a little bit more body on it.
So why not come over? No reason to this rhyme. I just want your lips again.
What's interesting, when it gets full there, it works really well. If I take the bypass off and we'll just listen to it clean.
No reason to this rhyme. I just want your lips against mine. So why not just come over?
So in the full mix there, it sits really nicely. So another thing you can do is whatever you do on the verse drums to saturate it and just roll in the transients a little bit, could be, you might not have to do it on the chorus. You might just leave that in those sections and then just automate what's going on. And I think you can bring down, once you saturate the verse drums, just a little bit. Because here it's nice.
No reason to this rhyme. I just want your lips against mine. So why not just come over and say what's up tonight?
And what's interesting is it might be some bus compression that's going on because there it's not as bad. Again, maybe other things as they're getting fuller are catching the bus compression. Either that or you've got some reverse automation going on where you're automating louder in, it's possible, louder in the verses. Whatever you do, the verse needs to be tucked more in, the snare needs to be tucked more into the verses. That would be my main thing. And I think a little bit of saturation on it could help it as well, combined with automation. And don't be afraid to use like an L1 or something like that if you really want to just shave off the transient and give it more body. Cat, otherwise, absolutely superb. Wow. I am going to go and eat my sandwich, which I'm finally going to eat. And so give me a few minutes, Addy. Everyone, you all rock. This has been amazing. Kat, very, very impressed with that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I think a bit more body on that snare is not going to help. It's not going to hurt, sorry. Just a little bit more body, just a little fuller. I do think some saturation on it will help a lot. Just taking some of those high mids and just folding them in a little bit. Thank you, everybody. And thanks, everybody in Europe who's up at between 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm so sorry that we ran late. But, yeah, the whole day, you know, with that the fraudulent thing on it. And it was on one of the London Lawhorn songs claiming that it was theirs. But it pushed us all back. But you have been absolutely incredible. You've been amazing, and I've been Warren, and he's been Eric with the Ericam. Hashtag Team Eric, he says. Hi, thank you ever so much, everybody. See you next week. We have a video coming out tomorrow as well. We're doing another vocal video with Chris, talking about different vocal techniques. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. See you all again very soon. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, adios, or adios. What was I talking about? Oh, au revoir. Goodbye. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. See you all soon.